That's right. I'm back. I'm still alive. Um, I know I've said this before, but I should be able to actually start doing regular videos. Ow. Blistered my thumb. Um, should be able to start doing regular videos pretty soon. And I'm going to be trying something new. Nothing new to anybody who's been on YouTube looking at toy reviews before. But sometime over the next couple weeks, the tracking info is very vague on this. I will be attempting my first model kit. It's a very basic Gundam. I talked with a Jobby, for those of you who watch toy reviews regularly, and he gave me a good suggestion on my first model kit. It's a very basic Gundam set. I'm not a huge Gundam fan, but I do think, you can probably tell from the Transformers thing that I do like the whole giant robot thing. So we're going to go with that. But today, we're taking a look at Power of the Prime's Cutthroat. Now, the Terrorcons in general are one of my favorite combiner sets, as I've said before. This one is one of the weaker. Probably the weakest ones in this set are him and Sinner Twin. They're probably the weakest ones, just because I think it's more of the overall structure of them. Sinner Twin feels a little hollow, I guess is the best way to put it. He doesn't feel like he's got as much girth as like Ripper Snapper and Hunger do. And the other thing, now, a lot of Transformers fans get really mad about repaints and remolds. I don't. I get mad at repaints on the level of like Titan's Return Breakaway, because it was very clearly just a repaint of Chrome Dome with a slightly different head sculpt. That's lazy in my opinion. If you're going to remold or repaint something, you need to make it so it's got such a drastic difference that you can't even tell it was the same figure, in my opinion. A good example of that is the Generations Springer and Sandstorm that came out a while back. Excuse me. They're the same skeleton, but they're just such drastic differences. It's kind of like the fact that Hunger was a reuse of the skeleton of the Combiner Wars Silverbolt. You wouldn't, if it wasn't for the fact, unless you get it in your hands and somebody points it out to you, you're not going to notice that they're basically the same figure, just with some heavy retooled parts and some added parts. So they're mold brothers, but that's about it. Well, we got a set of mold brothers here too. We have Cutthroat, Bertie, and Swoop. Now I know probably some people are going to look at this and say, oh yeah, I can see the maybe the arms and the wings are similar. No, actually these are very close to being the same figure, with the exception of remolded pieces such as the chests here are completely remolded. The arms, I think, unless I'm mistaken, are exactly the same, just repainted. The whole bracket system that they use for the alternate mode head is completely different, even though they have the same type of head transformation. Their legs are obviously different. Their wings are obviously different pieces, but they're basically the same thing. We'll get more into that when we get to robot mode. Now, for him, he also has the weakest weapon storage, because here's his gun for robot mode, and you have one spot. It's this tiny little peg hole on his chest here. You can either point it down or point it up. Pointing it up, you just saw my one gripe about the figure. When you point it up, come on, get back on there. He's basically blowing his beak off. So, it's a downside, but it's not horrible. Also, he shares another thing with Swoop, and that is he has the peg holes on the back of his wings for his prime armor. This is the only way that I've been able to find that you can store his prime armor in his alternate mode, which honestly doesn't look bad. Having the pack on his back, it really doesn't look bad. It's one of the better prime armor storage setups for this line. Except for, once again, Ripper Snapper. But what we'll do here real quick is I will set him over here and going to do a quick spin around here, and so you can get a good look of them together. Once again, sorry for the poor quality, still recording from my phone here. And my phone is picky to say the least. So, we're going to get down to transformation real quick, which is very, very simple. So, it's actually easier than Swoop's, if I honestly had to judge on that. But you want to take his beast mode tail here, flip it up. You want to take his legs here and just you just pivot them on this joint and then kind of just line them up. Then come around, split it apart, comes down on this double armature here. Just like that. And then, you know, his arms usually unpeg themselves, so you just flip out the fist, rotate his arm forward, flip out the other fist, rotate his arm forward. And then here's the annoying part. These are like little friction nubs holding this onto place, holding his bird mode head in place. It's a pain, but the best way I found to mitigate the pop-off problem is to actually just hold the sides of it and then grab his robot mode head as you bring it down and just work it down in. And you just flip his little crest here up. And there we have Cutthroat in robot mode. And he looks glorious in his robot mode. Not going to go over Poseability with these guys because it's pretty basic. I mean, you know, standard articulation, and he shares the wing articulation with Swoop. You know, has all the necessary leg joints and all the necessary arm joints is all I'm going to say about that, except he doesn't have any wrist swivels. So if that's a problem, then I'm sorry, but I don't really see it to be a problem. As far as this mode for his prime armor, it's the same as Swoop. He has the little tabs on the side of his bird mode head, so you use the thumb tabs like that, and yeah, it looks dumb. Not the dumbest thing they've come up with, but it still doesn't look great. And of course, you can give him his... Come on, stick in there. His fists are really tight for his gun, so that's good. And there we go. Now, if you'll hold on for just a second, we'll do our quick size comparisons here again. Here's everybody in robot mode. And man, do they look good as a team. Can't really complain about them, guys. They look great. Now, okay. Now, what I was talking about before with him and Swoop is, if you'll take a look here, I mean, you can see even more now in robot mode. It's just, with the exception of probably these pieces right here, basically from their kneecaps down, they are pretty much the same figure. There's a few key differences, but they are... It's a case of they remolded so many pieces and gave them so much of a different sculpting and molding that I don't have any issues with it being a reuse of the mold. I've never minded them reusing mold like that. I think it's honestly the best route to take for something like this. But I understand why some people get frustrated with it. I'm just saying that it might not be original, but you know what? They've been repainting since... They've been doing cheap repaints since G1. I mean, what was it? Sideswipe, Red Alert. I feel like there was a third one. They were all the exact same figure. They just repainted them. Then there was G2 Sideswipe. I mean, I've done G2 Sideswipe on this channel. They're a bunch of the same figures that they just repainted. What was the other one? Was it Trailbreaker and Hoist were the same figure? They just had different paint jobs and some different accessories. But I'm going to stop with the debate points, and we're going to just call that a done deal with that video. So once again, this is Power of the Primes Cutthroat. Been pretty happy with the Terrorcon's, going to say. So If this video didn't annoy the crap out of you and you thought that I did a decent job, well, then give me a like and drop a sub. Looking to grow the channel. And I'm still planning, once I start getting higher amounts of subscribers, I still plan on doing giveaways. I was thinking about starting a giveaway off with like a Black Series Force FX Star Wars lightsaber. Another thing I'm considering is maybe a model. I might, depending on how the model kit thing goes, I might give away a model kit, either pre-assembled or for you to assemble by yourself. It's up to you. It's up to whoever wins that contest. But I saw a couple like really nice ones from Warhammer and a few Gundam ones that are pretty cool. Even some Neon Genesis ones that are really good. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to call that good. I'm going to stop giving you guys more information than you want. And we're going to call it good. Power of the Prime's Cutthroat. I am Smithy. The Smithy. Whatever you want to call me. I'm the guy on the channel. Have a good one, guys.